Okay, so figured out something new. Very good. Sit. Hey, where am I? So figured out that, so it's November 18th, 2017, and goals are what is the compelling driving force to my direction of what makes me move, what makes me change, what makes me compelled. And having a true goal, like a true north, set, clearly defined, everything of what they say a goal is. And so having it be my truth and having it be fully realized in me, mentally, visually, physically, feeling, when it's in alignment with me, when the goal is in alignment with me and it feels very visceral and real, is compelling to get everything to trickle up and focus and really just dissolve into that. Everything just feels like it just sucks right up into it. And then we go. And then I go. And moving forward, that's fabulous, right? So when I'm not moving, when I realize, okay, something is not happening, the contrast isn't there. The contrast of the compelling, focusing goal that is therefore, when it's truthful to us, it is therefore, what makes it compelling and truthful to us is then creates this momentum, inspiration, desire, belief, because it's really, I think maybe effective goals for me are, because nothing really affects me outward to get me to do something I don't want to do. Like going against myself is, unless I've okayed it, it doesn't happen. Right? Arguably, I'm sure that's how it is. So see, this happens again. I'm like in my NLP session right now, and learning language and sequencing and how we phrase things just always takes me, the next time I like go to speak, I'm like, how do I word this? How do I say it? It's just such a mental exercise to stretch my mind out. But having a contrast of what I don't want or current state of affairs of undesired circumstance, event, doings can get me to get away from that if I have a direction of what I'm going to. And that's such a piece of what I have been working on now for like over 100 days. I have been doing the morning ritual of visualization of Tony Robbins, healing, and gratitude to prime us for our goals and really get us into the place that we want to be. I feel nervous talking about that, but it's amazing. And that's just the confidence piece of like every morning being able to remind myself who I am, remind myself what is in me, remind myself of realizing myself. And I think that's for goals is what that means to me. Our goals and truthful goals are the bigger realization of myself and the more expressed version of myself, the more accessed version of myself, more of me. My goal now is to get more of a clear goal. My goal is to set goals because that's what lets me be more myself and not accept going against myself, whatever that means. If that means being stressed or down or staying in negative wallowing and not feeling compelled to move. That's phenomenal to me of how much we can move ourselves just from implementing what our truth is in a more real and expansive way, and how we can not move ourselves by not seeing and feeling in full past the circumstance of what is that we may not like. And despite how much we want to change it, if there isn't a vision, right? Like if there isn't a fully realized vision of that's encompassing all the aspects of ourselves that I have a dream, all those aspects of, do we have it like visually, mentally, physically, viscerally, emotionally, auditorily? And then it's believably. All those aspects are what make us believe the circumstance and the situation that we're in now is because we have all of us in it, right? We have all of the aspects of ourselves in this. What makes us not believe something that isn't there is we're not fully in it. And that's something I super believe in. I super know to be true, and I'm super confident in, and I'm super compelled to find, because it's what makes me feel so alive is to have focus and direction and actualization, and that actualization comes from focus and direction. So that's the all-encompassing, that's what it encompasses. And I'm powerful when I'm all myself, when I'm all realized, right? Like, I cannot deny the emotions of flow. I feel like if we were to put my emotions in form, it would be like the hugest fucking river of a rushing rapid waterfall defines my emotions. Like, that's how fast and fierce they feel like they come on. And I'm always like, oh my God, again? Like, it seems to have a lot of people have told me that they repress or hide or deny their emotions. And to me, that has just like always been a concept. When I hear that, I'm like, how do you do that? How, like, no way would that be possible. That's like, how do you create a dam for like the biggest fucking force of nature coming in? Like, you know, like Mother Nature wins. For sure. Like, natural, never underestimate the power, house, and force of that. Okay. But my emotions get me there because I came with info at the beginning of this, denying emotions to start this video. Spitballed out some facts and information and you know, intellect of me talking about something, but then it hit a standstill and I was like, I got to address my emotions if I'm going to move on any further. And then once I do, it's cultural. It's stigma that emotions are this negative, weak thing. And I sit here today stopping that from, like, it ends for sure. It stops with that. That is just not the truth. It is capacity. Link to another video talked about that. And that is the fullness and the richness of nature and of ourselves, is to be able to be aware and feel how connected we are. Yeah? Because us not being connected is not in question, because it's not that we are not in connection. It's not that the emotions, what make the emotions aren't there necessarily. It's the denial of that. It's the unrecognizing of it. And everything is like this muscular practice. It's a practice, right? Like we say that all the time of, okay, a religion is a practice, a meditation is a practice, exercise is a practice. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of what we practice. And how full do you live of a lifestyle? How full are you open and embrace life is how full you can feel fulfilled. That's the same thing. I think fulfillment and happiness comes from the progress of being open and accepting and embracing and using of our fullness of whatever shows up for us. So my emotions show up for me on the daily moment. We know this. And they move me. It is really like you could make notes and critique a river. We'll go with that metaphor of like this rushing, like, have you ever been river rafting? Fuck, the most exciting fucking thing I've ever fucking done. Holy shit. Get to like a class like grade 5, 6 level of a river and you are laughing. Like, this is fucking the best experience ever. Oh my God. God damn it. It was the fucking best. Like, so grateful. I'm so thankful for that. Oh my God. Holy. Emotions. People. Emotions. You could critique. You could make notes. You could analyze. You could learn everything there is to know about the fucking river. But once you put an opinion on it, it ain't gonna do shit. It's not gonna change. It will do what it naturally does. It will be the river that it is. It will rush the amount that it does. And you can sit on the sideline. You can roll with it. You can choose whatever you do or have whatever opinion you want to. Opinion, judgment you have about it. And that will only affect you. The nature of the river, of the truth, of what makes up you and what wants to move through you will keep fucking pushing. And the consequences will endure. The consequences will endure to the level of how much we need to move and how much we are denying. That's when, like, you feel like fucking nudged and pushed and pulled and swirled through life, when life is like whipping you, you are either denying, and by you, I mean me, etc., people, whoever this applies to. If it does, it's just how I'm speaking. But when I go to the you, this is my disclaimer. My you disclaimer is, my you is we, my we is me. And I'm talking to myself, like I see myself on the video right now. So I'm literally saying you to me. Literally. Okay? And you're looking beautiful. You're looking gorgeous. You're looking great. And by you, I mean you. Enough fun. So, life rushing, pushing, whipping, throwing around. It is time to go with the flow. It is time to be all embracing. It is time to give up the old. It is time to realize a different perspective. If it hurts, let's leave it. Like, that's my claim, and that's intent, and that takes adjustment. That takes adjustment to be able to be like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Whip it. Yeah, sure. Find new ways. It also, I think, can be joy, can be just embraced so magnificently, and then the emotion that is this river we're going with. Once you're like, okay, I'm in a river, okay, it's wild, and as opposed to hating it because it's not the cement dry sidewalk of business class, you can be like, but look what it is, the fucking funnest, freest waterfall, what is it, roller coaster of life. So then once I was in this conversation, did all my info, got to it, and was like, and now, okay, I ran out of info. And I hit like a wall. But then once I acknowledged my emotions, accepted them, embraced them, then boom, push. I had this huge push, this like burst of energy that came behind me, and I realized who I was, and I accepted it. And then I could enjoy and get on with this conversation, which we know is how I make it to 18 minutes already. Oh my God. It's a skill set, people, to be able to talk this long to yourself and get somewhere with it and move yourself. So accepting emotion is accepting the fullness of our life. Accepting emotions is accepting fulfillment. And accepting fulfillment is accepting that getting there starts with visually deciding where there is, what that is, what that looks like, what that feels like, what that sounds like, what that smells like everything in it. To be able to live in the state that we want to is like this creative, juicy creation of discovery to what life's surprises has to offer us. And that it's there, it is so there. And what do we gotta do to open up, release, unleash, and embrace? And that's goals. Starting with goals lets me have everything else filter up. It makes everything work. It's like, you know, one of those tents or something, and you pull from the middle up, and everything else just falls with it. That's exactly it. Is the details, the micro chronicle worrying of figuring out the details of things. For me, it always is like, well, what's the real big point? Like, what's the ecological whole that's gonna make me motivated to move? What's the purpose? Really wish we could see like the top of this. Gotta go. Goals are all encompassing of who we are in order to make the right goal, right? Oh, what a surprise. Look at this. At the very end of this conversation, what does this come back to with Tracy Land? The Soulful Babe is talking about going inwards and having self-awareness and letting who we are be the stem to our realization, to solving all the problems. We will get all the answers and awareness and solutions and creativity and rapport of realizing where and how we belong is by belonging to ourselves first. Loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, embracing ourselves with love. And let me tell you one last thing. However we interpret anyone else, anything else is how we interpret ourselves. I have said this before. Brilliant people have said that before, and I believe it. I believe the data. Oh yeah. So that's just a little nugget. Love you. Okay, bye. the soulful babe. Been sitting on cement. Oh my God, my ass is freezing. Holy. Oh, not stopped. Bye. What was that? A smile. Blow me a smile.